In a world woven from silk and success, Eleanor Whitmore was the perfect heir. Every smile, every step, was a carefully choreographed move to uphold the flawless reputation of the Whitmore fashion empire. Her life was a runway, glittering under the flashbulbs of high society, but her soul had never known the simple comfort of freedom. Each choice was a weight, each decision a sacrifice for the family legacy. This gilded cage was all she knew. Until him, Adrian Kane. The name itself was a declaration of war. Ever Kane Technologies, a sprawling empire built on innovation and ruthless ambition, Adrian was everything Eleanor was taught to despise. The Kanes and the Whitmores were titans locked in a perpetual battle, their rivalry a legend in the boardrooms and business columns. The first meeting wasn't a fairy tale, it was a collision. At a lavish charity gala, amidst the clinking of champagne glasses and polite, predatory smiles, their eyes met. Adrian's grin was a mix of charm and challenge, a spark that ignited something deep within Eleanor. It was a feeling she couldn't name, a dangerous current she knew she should avoid. But she couldn't look away. From that night, the game was on. Her rivalry, once a distant corporate war, became intensely personal. Every business maneuver, every whispered comment at industry events was a move in their intricate chess match. They sparred with words, with wit, with ambition. Yet, with every clash, the walls they had so carefully constructed began to crumble. It started subtly. Lingering glances across a crowded meeting room. Shared, secret laughter in the quiet corners of the city, hidden from the prying eyes of a world that would never understand their connection. Soon, the battle lines blurred into clandestine rendezvous. Secret dinners in dimly lit restaurants where no one would recognize them. Slow, meandering walks under the moonlight, where the city's hum became the soundtrack to their whispered confessions. In these stolen moments, their hearts pounded in a rhythm that was all their own. For months, they danced on the knife edge of discovery, knowing that one wrong step could bring both their worlds crashing down. But the risk was intoxicating. In each other, they found an exhilarating freedom. Eleanor, who had spent her life in shades of gray, finally learned to laugh in vibrant color. Adrian, who wore confidence like impenetrable armor, found himself beautifully, terrifyingly vulnerable in her presence. They became each other's secret, a forbidden joy that felt as impossible as it was inevitable. Then came the night that shattered their fragile paradise. A simple mistake, a text message intended for Adrian, but accidentally sent to Eleanor's ambitious assistant. An assistant who saw not a romance, but an opportunity. By dawn, the secret was no longer theirs. It was a weapon, and it had been fired. The fallout was immediate and brutal. Eleanor was summoned to an emergency meeting with her father. His voice, usually a source of comfort, was as sharp and cold as steel. "This cannot continue," he declared, his words leaving no room for argument. "The company, our reputation, our future, it is all more important than a fleeting romance. You will end it, Eleanor. Now." Across the city, Adrian faced the same storm. His father's eyes were unyielding, his tone final. "We cannot allow this connection. Whitmore and Kane are rivals. You will not jeopardize what our family has built for generations. You will step away from her." The world they had been born into, the world of power and legacy, showed them no mercy. The very rivalry that had ignited their passion now became the bars of their cage. They tried to fight it, clinging to stolen afternoons and hushed phone calls, but the pressure was immense, relentless. The final blow came as an ultimatum. To save Whitmore Enterprises from a hostile takeover, a marriage had been arranged for Eleanor. A strategic alliance with a wealthy European businessman, a man she didn't know, let alone love. It was a choice between her heart and her family's entire world. Her heart shattered into a million pieces. The wedding was a masterpiece of opulence, a grand spectacle of wealth and power designed to mask the tragedy at its center. Guests murmured about her radiant beauty, her flawless grace, completely unaware of the raging storm within her. She was a perfect picture of a bride, hollowed out from the inside. From a distance, bound by protocol and pride, Adrian watched. He saw the woman he loved, the only woman who had ever seen the man behind the armor, become someone else's wife. Every vow she spoke was a dagger in his heart and hers. A betrayal not of each other, but of a world that had written their ending before they even had a beginning. Life after the wedding became a delicate, exhausting performance. Elena played her part to perfection. The dutiful wife, the charming hostess, the brilliant business strategist, aligning her vision with her husband's interests. She was everything she was supposed to be. But every night, when the grand house fell silent and the lights dimmed, the emptiness returned. There was a void shaped exactly like Adrian. He was the ghost in every room, the echo in every silence. Meanwhile, Adrian threw himself into his work with a desperate ferocity. He acquired companies, dominated markets, and attended endless conferences. He dated beautiful, accomplished women, searching for a spark that could rival the fire he had known with Elena. But it was a futile search. Nothing could erase her memory. Her laughter, her wit, the way she looked at him when they thought no one was watching, it was all etched into his soul. Years passed, like pages turning in a book they could no longer read together. But their paths were destined to cross. At international galas in Paris, charity events in New York, and industry panels in Tokyo, they would find themselves in the same room, a brief, loaded glance across a sea of faces. A moment of shared silence that spoke volumes in those fleeting seconds. Everything was there, the longing, the regret. The unbreakable thread of a connection that time and distance could never sever. Their love had been forbidden, a secret buried beneath layers of family duty and corporate ambition, but it refused to die. It transformed into a quiet, constant ache, a beautiful, painful ghost of what might have been. Elena's husband never suspected the depth of the love she had lost. Adrian's string of engagements always ended, shadowed by the sense of incompleteness that haunted him. In their private moments, alone with their thoughts, they would both retreat to the same memories. The nights spent walking beneath city lights, where there were not a Whitmore and a Kane, but just Elena and Adrian. The sound of their shared laughter. The weight of whispered promises that the world would never let them keep. Their story wasn't a tragedy of lost love, but a testament to its resilience. It was a lesson in the cruelty of circumstance and the enduring strength of the human heart. They were forced apart, their lives set on diverging courses by the powerful hands of fate and family. Yet, in a world that demanded perfection and obedience, Elena and Adrian held onto the one thing that was truly, completely theirs. A secret love born in the fire of rivalry that would survive forever in memory, untamed and unbroken. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.